Live, and we should be live. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Alright, and I didn't really comment on the uh, last GP point system because I won the Dutch GP predictions. I'm only 2 points
Yeah.
behind.
Is it only two? I thought it was still three. Oh god.
It's 2 points. I'm closing in really slowly, but hopefully I can get there.
I'm closing in slowly but surely.
Yeah. All right.
Is it only two? Damn. Oh, I thought I was
Since
way ahead.
Since La Banana unfortunately couldn't join us today, we'll also go for his predictions as well. We can start right away. Your general thoughts on the Grand Prix?
You know what? It was an entertaining one. I'll give it that. Helped massively by the Ferraris. That's what I will say. I think they've done a great job in making sure this race was somewhat watchable by being just quick enough to stay within the Red Bulls at the start when on the same tyres, but not quick enough to completely and utterly destroy them. Sadly, so yeah, it was an interesting race. I don't think it was the worst of that we've had this season.
Yeah,
I don't think it was the best. I think the Dutch Grand Prix still takes that, but
true. It's a solid second place in terms of entertainment because we didn't really have too many great races this season, right?
yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff happened. I think George staying in the whole Checo situation was good. You know, he passed by George, then passed by Charles, then passed by Sainz. And all of those battles were pretty solid. The battle between Sainz and Max was good at the start, and then battle between the two Ferraris at the end. So
yeah, I gotta agree. It was an entertaining race despite another Max win. His 10th win in a row, which just broke a record for the most consecutive wins.
I thought the curse was strong enough, but
yeah. Looking at your race, looking at your race.
Hey, look, I just lost.
There's a lack of Versava there. Not gonna
lie. Well, I just thought he was going to finish, so.
I mean,
he did.
You're getting points for Leclerc, I think. Actually,
no, I don't think I get any points for the race.
You get Leclerc.
Or qualifying
in P4.
I do. I get Leclerc.
Yep.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
I take it.
Actually, Sainz, Max. Who was fourth? Russell or
Russell? It was Russell. Yeah.
And fifth was
Perez.
Race. That's obvious. Max win.
Not obvious enough for me. Perez Sainz.
Russell. Look at my race results. If I would,
you have had
Russell.
You've had one hell of a weekend.
Yeah.
You are closing those 2 points certainly for me.
Yeah. All right. I guess we start right away. Q1. Pole position for Italian Grand Prix. None of us got it right. I think no one expected.
Yeah, always the. Ferrari were quick on one lap. They tend to be this season.
He
tend to shock a few times.
Yeah, he impressed me personally because I thought Sainz was gonna have a pretty average weekend. Outperformed by Leclerc like last year in Monza, and this year he was pretty much the faster Ferrari for most of the weekend up until the later stages of the Grand Prix where Leclerc had just the better tires to actually attack Sainz towards the end.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, all right. That's about it for pole position. Although it was really close. Like Leclerc and Verstappen were like within half a second, I think, both of them, right?
And I think you saw that at the start of the race where all three just stayed within each other. It's just tires ended up being the massive, big thing this Grand Prix.
Yep. Yeah, two Ferraris and Red Bulls up in the front. You would expect the Ferraris to be the strongest car, right? It wasn't the case because Perez is Perez, and he's qualifying.
Really badly.
Yeah,
I feel like.
Yeah, go on.
I feel like he's. his qualifying is definitely the thing that's going to let him down.
Yeah.
Definitely.
He has the pace in the race to come back to the field and finish at the podium, but his qualifyings are just awful. Like last time he qualified top 3 was like when? It was like Miami? Or I actually don't remember. It was so long
It
ago.
was good. I think it was Miami. He qualified.
Pole
Was it?
position. He got a pole.
Was it pole or was
Yeah,
Verstappen pole?
it
And
was pole
Verstappen had a
because-
penalty.
Yeah, Verstappen didn't have a penalty. He actually made a mistake in Q3.
Oh yeah, of
And
course.
Leclerc crashed, so he couldn't set a lap time.
But full disclosure, that's the one Grand Prix I just didn't watch throughout. I didn't watch a single moment of the Grand Prix.
You didn't miss much.
Exactly. Actually, I think I watched Hamilton's overtake on sites. That was or on Charles, one of the two.
Also, there was like one funny moment, which was like Magnussen fighting the Ferraris or something. Yeah. Miami. Ever since then, Perez just haven't really performed in quali. Got a P5 in this one. I think it was like 2 or 4, maybe even like 3/10 away from pole, around that. I actually don't remember the gaps specifically. Okay, I mean it was closer than in the most races. Like you would expect Max to get pole and Perez 3 times behind would actually be like most of the time on the podium for quali at least. But this time Ferraris were pretty quick and really good lap from Russell. I guess Hamilton was in P8, right? In the quali. That was a really good lap from Russell, I gotta admit.
Yeah. I think Hamilton just. I don't think it was the best lap from Hamilton. I think he should be behind Perez, but although Albon was quick, so maybe it was just a brilliant Russell lap. I think he's quite good in Italy overall, so I definitely think it suited him.
Moving on, Q2, second row, no, first row, second place in quali, just behind pole position was actually Max, and I was going to Ray, which looks like we're not getting any points, but the points come on later. So
yeah.
You actually went with Norris, who I think the McLaren wasn't really quick.
Bad car. Yeah, I got screwed. My brothers literally turned around on the Friday because I asked them a lot about what predictions I should make. They turned around on me on the Saturday, qualifying, and went, "Oh, the McLarens aren't very quick here," and I was like, "Oh, god damn it!"
I was the only one who didn't put a McLaren in top 5 for both of the sessions, which was a good move for me, as we will count the points.
I just remember them being quick on the straight at Silverstone, but apparently.
Yeah, it was probably like somewhat of a setup. I think they basically nailed the setup in British Grand Prix.
Yeah, definitely.
Because Spa was pretty much like this same type of a circuit like Silverstone. Just they didn't really get the setup right, and yeah, it's like McLaren things. I
think also they were quick around the corners at Silverstone rather than.
Yeah, I mean they were like fastest in the high speed corners, but they lost everything on the straights.
Yeah.
Yep. P3 in quali. Now it's gonna be right. We all went for Perez. I don't know what this sudden hope for Perez was, but I don't think I'm putting him in my top 3 for the rest of the season.
I mean, he should be quick. This is the track, right? This is the track where he should be getting that quick enough around. But lots of straight lines, but never mind.
I expected the Red Bulls to be more dominant in both sessions, but yeah, Ferrari's impressed in quali, not really as much in the race. I mean, they were the second fastest team for the whole weekend, but I feel like they couldn't really match Red Bull's pace in the race. Like Max, ever since he overtook Sainz, he just bolted off into the distance. Like, yeah, it was like just a matter of time until Max takes the lead and wins.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, P4 in quali. This is where I get my first point, and I think this is the first of many.
You definitely got a few around.
Actually,
I mean, I don't think us two didn't do too badly, as we're about to talk about. But
yeah.
that's a good point to get.
I think we're getting in a bit of an argument in the later questions.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Um,
I'm ready for it.
Yep. All right. You went with Lewis. Lewis kind of balled this quali. He wasn't really too quick. Even though he got like P5 and Q2, was it? It still was like right next to George, so wasn't really.
I think the pace was quite clear to tell that they were maybe like not even the third quickest team, I would say, because I think the Williams were quicker.
Williams was really quick this weekend. I expected them to be quick, but not like they're actually like Sargent almost got into Q3 was up until he screwed the lap. Basically, his Q2 time will get him into Q3, I think, which is wild. He basically for the Q2 he got 15th. Only Alex got into Q3. But still, they got points. Williams is pretty much clear of Alfa Romeo and Haas. They're pretty much the seventh. I wouldn't say seventh quickest, but seventh best team this season. Because we don't really know how quick the Williams really is. Because Sargent isn't really a benchmark for Albon.
Yeah, that's the issue. I think
the
major issue at the moment.
I would really like to see like some kind of like proven driver who we know is quick and can actually like get decent points. Put him next to Albon. I would really want to see like how Albon performs next to actually capable teammate.
I'm unsure who that would be though. You know, you look around and you're just like, who goes to Williams out of these drivers? I think is a tricky question. Like, part of me thinks it would be really cool to maybe see Ricciardo there, but he seems nailed on for Alpha. They should have probably got him last season. Logan doesn't really. He was quick at the start of the season. Bahrain, big example of that.
Yeah.
But in no way can he compete with Alex. And I don't think he's like as bad as Latifi, but
Latifi was another level of bad. Like you have to like taking it into account. There was Latifi's like 4th season, and Sargent is still like a rookie, and it was basically like 14 races for him. Like
definitely.
Compared to Latifi's like 60 before he actually entered the season, like the last season. So yeah, I want to give Sargent time to develop and like actually get quick, but he hasn't shown any like actual promise. He's still like so far behind Albon. I don't really get it.
Yeah, definitely. I'm willing to maybe give him another season, but I would like someone quick alongside that Williams. I think if they keep going in the direction they'll be a quick team next year. But we say this almost every year. They look like they're going in a positive direction, and then suddenly they're back again. So we'll see what happens.
All right. U5, which is the P5 in quali, and then I was gonna do right. I went for Albon, which wasn't that far off. He got like P6, right, or P7. It wasn't that far off on.
I think it was P6.
Yeah, I was like right behind Perez, so I almost got another point there.
Yeah, definitely. It's a good shout. Really good shout.
Yeah, Leclerc did much better than P5, and Alonso, the Astons were like even worse than I expected him to be this weekend. Like, oh my god, how bad the Aston was. Like Alonso P10, Stroll P20 in quali. That's for a team that was second in the constructors for half of the season.
Yeah, it was not great for them.
Yeah.
But we'll get to them. I think Alonso actually did quite well in the race.
I mean, yeah, P9.
He got unlucky. He got unlucky to get stuck behind the Albon and was it Norris at the end?
Yeah, I don't think he
Because
really had the pace to overtake them on track. Maybe Albon, but Albon was
I
like
think
too quick on straights.
he caught up a considerable gap to them though.
Yeah, I mean there was like
It was a
5 seconds. Basically, Hamilton overtook
after his
him.
pit stop. I think it after his pit stop. I think it was like quite a distance.
Oh yeah, I mean
Uh,
yeah, Alex pitted so early to like
yeah,
to
that's
getting track position, so
rightly so. By the way,
yeah,
it kind of worked in a
yeah,
lot of
it
ways.
worked. Like props to them, they really made out.
They know their
Pretty
car's
well.
quick in the straight, so
Yep, it was a good weekend from Williams. Also, Sargent was really close to points at one point because he was like P11 with someone ahead of him, like having a penalty. I forgot who it was. It was someone. Basically, Sargent almost got a point, but then he crashed into Bottas or something like that. Got a penalty. Bottas got the 1 point for P10, and Logan finished like P13 or something like that.
I think it was a scrap with Piastri, wasn't it?
No, it was actually Bottas because he got a penalty from the
Okay.
collision with Bottas.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough.
They're battling for P10, which is I really hoped Sargent will finally get points here in Monza. It was like their best chance for the whole season. Like after this, I don't really see them like Sargent specifically getting points anywhere. I could see Albon getting into the points in some races, like Mexico, for example, or like Las Vegas. Las Vegas is like a pretty quick track.
Las Vegas will be a good shot. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Good for Williams. We will get to them later in the most impressive team because yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Race. I got a point here. Norris.
I took a risky strat. We've discussed it. It was Max doesn't finish.
I take 3 points over you any day. I'm not complaining.
Don't worry. It was one. You've done it once before as well with your Alonso shout. So
Yeah.
we're equal now. I was making sure we were equal.
You're actually closer because Alonso in Hungary got like P8 and Norris here got like P7. So technically we're closer.
I'll take the one place closer. It was an absolutely abysmal shout, so I'll take it.
There's like no reason to predict against Verstappen at this point.
I was predicting a retirement.
Do you think he can win?
I was predicting rain. If you don't remember, so
yeah, that's true. I mean, we didn't get any rain this weekend, right? Like at all.
no rain.
I don't remember any rain. There was forecast for the Sunday, but that was like no rain.
Yeah, that's definitely hit me hard. The no rain because I was expecting it and just never came.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think Max will win every race this season, like the remaining races?
From now on, I still expect some sort of not spill, but just like non-finish.
I mean, Singapore is next, right? And last year he got like P7 in the race or something like that.
Yeah, it's I don't like if he doesn't finish first, I would expect Perez to. I just don't think he'll not get that first place.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really expect Red Bull to be that dominant in Singapore specifically. Like last year it was like Merc and Ferraris were pretty close as well. Like it was like 1/10 of a second between Perez, Leclerc, and Hamilton in the end. It was like pretty even.
I think it was a lot of rain, wasn't there?
Yeah, it was a lot of rain quality and some rain in the race as well.
Yeah, so I think that's going to have a huge effect on it as well. But we shall see.
All right.
Not long now. Not long. No long wait this time.
Yeah. P2. Another point for me because I expected the Red
You
Bull
had
Rocket to
one
actually
hell
work.
of a weekend. Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, I think I may overtake you actually, unless you get a point for some of the later questions instead of me. But we'll discuss it later, right?
We're gonna have a big discussion.
I think you know which question am I talking about. But yeah, we'll get.
I can kind of guess, but I think you're wrong anyway.
All right, we'll get to it. P3. Oh,
It's
actually,
obviously not the ones where you've predicted the exact same as me.
yeah, obviously. All right, actually, P2 for Hamilton was always also pretty off. Leclerc, yeah, P4. I was like, that was a pretty good prediction for me. I got the whole podium because Sainz in P3. No one expected Sainz to be even in the top five for anything but me. Just like,
Yeah, it was a really good shout. He's definitely shown his gravy here this race. Very big result for him.
you went with Checo, which is a pretty good shout considering he was like fighting the Ferraris pretty much almost at the end of the race. Like,
Yeah, well,
last
he almost passed Sainz, didn't he?
yeah. I would like, yeah. All right. Alonso for La Banana. Yeah, Alonso wasn't really near the podium this weekend.
No, very slow. That T, I don't know what's happened to that T. Just
Yeah,
nothing.
they're like on the podium one weekend, and the next weekend they're just nowhere.
Yeah, that's a good way of explaining it.
All right. This is where you get a point for instead of me. Just good for you. Even though I was like really close to actually getting the entire top five.
You were.
Yeah, unfortunate. Maybe next time. All right.
If you ever get a entire top five, I think you've won overall.
Yeah, I mean,
I think like you go close this weekend, so certainly not.
all right.
Not too far away, but those last two did mess you up. If only you had it the other way around.
Yeah. Yeah, your guess was correct, even though you didn't think you put three different teams ahead of Charles.
There's only
in reality,
there's only technically one different team.
yeah, exactly. Just, you expected a different like scenario, but same placement, so good for you.
I was expecting rain. I think the rain's really messed me up this weekend.
Maybe
Don't look at the weather 5 days in advance. I think that's the.
I put up the forecast somewhere. I was like, actually for Belgium, I forgot this time. All right. Yeah. My pick with George was actually very close. Like he was P4 for a good chunk of the race until Perez overtook him.
Really good battle. I really think George, as much as we give the Ministry of Defence to like races like Perez and Sainz, I think George really does well defensively.
Yeah.
I think we've seen that in a lot of races.
Unless he's not attacking, yeah, there's a good wheel-to-wheel knowledge there. It's
really good.
Yeah, defending from George is pretty good, but whenever he's attacking or like going side by side, it doesn't really end.
Sometimes we see a few crashes.
Yeah.
I think he's a bit beyond that now. I don't think we see it as often.
And we haven't really seen him battle too much this season.
Yeah. There's been a few races.
I mean, the last one that I remember was.
I'm thinking. Yeah, I'm thinking like we've seen in Spain. We saw in. We saw in Spain, not this season, but the season before. He did some really good defensive moves. In this Grand Prix, very good defensively. I think there's a lot of examples of George just really knowing where to put his car or what to put on the brakes. And that'll come from being in a Williams for a long time.
Yeah, he had to really battle his way in the Williams. So
Yeah, he had to defend a lot in that Williams. So I think it's definitely up to his pace, but maybe that's the reason that he struggles in overtaking. Because he was also in a Williams and was not expected to overtake.
What I also realize is whatever Merc I put first, they actually finish first, like out of the Mercs. Like I put George ahead of Hamilton in Q and qualifying for Dutch GP that happened. Hamilton ahead in the race, and here I put George ahead in both sessions and it happened as well. Like I should probably like yeah my okay, maybe I'm just waffling a bit.
That's a good stat to have. I like it.
Yep. Norwich P4 for La Banana. Yeah, Lando tried his best, but couldn't overtake Alex for most of the race. So yeah.
No.
Right. P5 also one position off for me. Unfortunately, no point for this one. He got Albon, which is a out. He was a pretty quick in the race, even though his tires fell off quickly.
Just tires issue, I would say.
Yeah. I mean, they were
Those
similar.
tires.
Yeah, similar to the Ferrari.
Grind,
They
yeah.
were quick on the straights and had a bad tire wear.
Yeah, that's a really good comparison, I think.
Yeah, a slower Ferrari basically. Yeah, 11 and a P5 for Hamilton didn't happen. There wasn't really much to say other than Hamilton finished in P6, but he's still like he theoretically could have finished like actually like P8 or P9 up until the scrubby Piastri. He basically like you saw the incident, right? Like he just went right. Piastri didn't really want to go into the grass and they touched. Hamilton was really,
It was unfortunate.
He was so lucky to actually not get spun out and into the put him into the wall. That save from Hamilton was pretty impressive, even though he actually caused the collision and ended Piastri's race, which was unfortunate. But mistakes happen. Hamilton straight up apologized for it, so that's good sportsmanship from him. Yeah. That's about it for the first 10. Most impressive driver, I think we both get this one right.
Yeah, really good weekend from him. You know what? Close for Sainz. Wouldn't give it Leclerc. Sorry, La Banana. Can't get most impressive when you're finishing behind your teammate.
Like he wasn't slow, but he couldn't match Sainz in most of the weekend.
I think for Leclerc to get most impressive driver, he sort of has to be getting a very solid second or first. So it's a risky one to put.
Yeah. Another good shout for the most impressive driver is Carlos Sainz himself. Even though
Yep, I think that was a good shout.
Even though he didn't really I mean, yeah, they were close in the race, but I think thanks to Sainz using his tires to defend like the Red Bulls, he used up his tires so much that he couldn't really keep up with Leclerc's pace.
Yeah,
alright. Where was I going? My sister entered my room, so I kind of lost my
thoughts.
Alright, yeah. Most impressive driver, I would give it to Albon just by a bit over Sainz, because I think Albon pretty much destroyed his teammate.
I think it was a really good weekend for Albon. I think he did really well.
Yeah. Like, if it wasn't for Albon, I think Sainz would get it right away. But Albon...
I think you're right.
Like, maybe Bottas getting a point in an Alpha.
Yeah, that's sort of who I was thinking of was.
Yeah, that was like out of nowhere as well, because I didn't think of Alfa Romeos the entire weekend, and suddenly they're in points.
He had a really strong race overall, I think, Bottas.
When I look at the data, they are actually the quickest on the straights for some reason, even though they were the slowest in Spa. It just doesn't make sense sometimes. Like
all set up.
Alphas need to nail the setup, and they can actually like score some points occasionally. All right. Least impressive driver. Is definitely not Russell. Stroll is
Yeah,
a good shout. I would say Stroll could be a good contender. Gasly, I mean, for the Alpines, I think it was mostly the car space, not like Gasly actually doing bad. I think the car didn't really have the pace for
I mean the
points.
car was awful,
Yeah.
awful. By
How,
far the
yeah.
car on the grid.
How did Q1 for both Alpines? That was just not really good.
Who can you argue that's not Stroll? This is my interest.
Uh, I cannot think of anyone who would be worse than Stroll this weekend. Like, in terms of
Because
finishing.
Man was 16th, only finished ahead of the two Haas's,
Yeah, I mean,
and
we gotta talk about
almost
Haas, yeah.
over 40 seconds down on his teammate.
Yeah, I'll give you the point here. I think you deserve it.
Okay. See, I thought I now realise which one you want to go down, so this is going to be interesting.
Yeah. All right. Most impressive team. Williams.
It's really difficult, right?
Yeah, this is a difficult because there are arguments for both. I could give both points, but we can only give one. This is difficult.
Who was the best team, the most impressive team this weekend? I think we're gonna have to give it the banana, you know.
Yeah, I think
Just because like Albon did really well, and the Williams should have done well, but I think Sargent had to get top 10 for us to pip third and fourth for the Ferrari.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of expected Williams to be good on this track, and I don't think anyone expected Ferraris to get pole in lead 15 laps. I would just give this to Ferrari opinion as well.
Yeah, let's give it the Ferrari. It's sad because I won the points, but
I mean, Lebanana. Let's be real. He has a tough job to catch up to us in points. So
yeah, that's true.
Now
he's about to catch up one more point to you.
Now he gets into a tricky question because I have actually no idea how to give points here.
I want to see your argument because I get it, right? But my understanding would be Hats have the arguably worst car, whereas Alpine have what should be and have done really well in recent races. They have the sixth best car.
Well, over the season, probably. I guess Williams is like at least in Albon's head is a sometimes contender for the sixth place.
Yeah, you could argue Williams are close, but like recent races, I've got to say Alpine have been pretty solid. In terms of the Grand Prix.
When I put in my argument with Haas, what I said was it's gonna be the slowest car and both are gonna finish last which happened. Both of them finished last on the finishers. Behind
you're right.
With them being like even this like Hülkenberg was like 5 seconds behind the next closest finisher, and Magnussen was like even 10 seconds behind. Like they were comfortably the slowest team this weekend.
That's slowest. We're talking least impressive,
and
the least impressive team for a team that should be getting around 10th, 9th, maybe a tiny bit under. You got to look at Alpine and just ask what they were doing this weekend, what their setup was. They've gone from getting 3rd and 10th, a 3rd place finish, to no points, looked utterly just done. 15th, 19th, even worse in qualifying. They had no sniff of points, and they should be getting points. They've had a really good few races recently to just completely deteriorate.
All right.
That would be. I think for me, absolute argument would be that team should be doing way better than that. and do we really think should be doing way better than where they finished, which is close to last. Like maybe Haas should be doing better than the two Alphas, but in recent races, are we even sure of that? I mean,
I don't really know at this point. Sometimes Nico gets into Q3, but this time he barely got out into Q2, which was mainly due to his amazing driver skills, right? Because he has
Hulkenberg's done amazing, but then the Alpines usually get into either Q2 or Q3 as well, and they couldn't. Like I'm not sure about qualifying statistics, but like, when was the last time both were out in Q1 like this?
It was definitely like not impressive for them. I didn't expect too much from Alpine to begin with. I think they will be like I thought they would be the seventh fastest team, which was like area of P13 and P14. They were below that, obviously, which is like
They were the ninth
point,
fastest team.
and I agree with it. Don't get me wrong, but Haas, like, what? How much worse do they need to be to get a least impressive team? I can't see like
you just explained it yourself though. I expected Haas to be that slow. Like,
yeah, I expected too, but so I predicted them to be the least impressive because
you expected them to be that
they normally are. I get it. They're normally like around the 9th, 10th, 8th fastest team in race pace. But sometimes they get into quali and get like 1 Q3, 1 Q2, and somewhere like that. They couldn't even they barely got into Q2, and that was because of Nico's amazing qualifying skills. How are they? I think my argument point here. I don't know.
My argument has to be that Haas are we would agree, right? You said yourself 9th, 10th, maybe 8th fastest. So they're dropping at a total. Let's average it out at 9th because that's where they're in the constructors.
Yeah.
They're dropping one place lower than they should. Whereas Alpine are currently 6th in the instructors. You'd say maybe 6th fastest overall. 6th, 7th. They've dropped at least 3 or 2 places. That's a massive drop off in comparison.
Yeah, I would mean like from my expectations this weekend, Alpine dropped 2 places and Haas dropped like 1 probably. And I'm on your side. Don't get me wrong. I want to give Alpine the point, but I have to actually convince myself to do it because I don't know how worse Haas needs to be in order to get the least impressive team. How do they need to finish like second behind the next finish or what? Because I actually don't know.
I just think it's a risky play to pick Haas. Would be my claim.
It's like
for your least impressive team, you have to be way behind the field. I know they were 5-10 seconds behind Stroll, but like in comparison to where like they should be like even further down. Like I think they only got lapped by Perez and Verstappen, right? Like they should be being lapped by a lot more people for them to be the least impressive.
Magnussen was actually watching the entire Ferrari fight in the last 10 laps. He was right behind him. So Magnussen was lapped by the top 4 basically.
I'm gonna put it out there. I think Magnussen. I'm surprised they gave him another contract.
Yeah, me too. I honestly expected to like maybe Porsche or someone like from the Ferrari Academy, like Berman has been really impressive in F2 this season. Like for a rookie, he's been basically like one of the top drivers in the first season.
Yeah.
They're like other good shows like Vesti or like.
Whilst we're at it, I also want to give a shout out to Liam Lawson. Very strong race.
Yeah.
Very strong. When he's given a full weekend.
Yeah.
And we don't have the comparison because of Tsunoda's unfortunate start. But...
Quickly, Lawson is 2-0 with Tsunoda.
Yeah, I know. This is very strange.
Yeah, it's
It makes me question what they're going to do next season because I really don't think they can keep Lawson not in a seat.
I think
Maybe
Lawson.
that opens someone to go to Williams.
My guess would be Lawson stays in AlphaTauri with either Tsunoda or Ricardo going away. With if it's a Ricardo going away, I think he's going to the Red Bull unless he actually doesn't really perform in the last few races. And if it's Tsunoda, I think Tsunoda moves to Williams alongside Albon.
I think as much as so the owners of American, of Williams are American, obviously, and that's a big reason why Liam Lawson came in. But if you're going towards an Asian market, and a lot of F1 tracks are now around Asia and the Middle East, having Alex Albon and Tsunoda is going to get you a lot of money, bring you a lot of sponsorship as well.
Yeah, it would
So
also be
it wouldn't be the worst strategy.
it would also be a pretty solid lineup, I would say. Like two solid midfield drivers, like in Albon.
Imagine how much Sonoda's lack of body weight. Imagine how quick he's going to be in the Williams on a straight. That'd be amazing.
Imagine the height difference between Albon and Tsunoda.
Yeah. But just Sonoda and anyone. I saw this weekend. You saw them walk out the driver's press conference and Stroll's alone. Well, that was very funny.
Yeah,
He's rich. I can say this. But also just seeing how much smaller Sonoda is. Then very like all F1 drivers are small, right?
Yeah.
So him being as small as the rest of the F1 drivers just never doesn't shock me.
yeah. I mean, it's good to be like shorter actually, because you save both weight and like balance of the car. Like it's actually easier when you're like not that tall and heavy.
Definitely. Yeah.
I think height is a really like being shorter in Formula One is a really big advantage.
Yeah. So we'll see. You know what? Tsunoda to Williams kind of excites me. So I'm kind of for that.
Yeah. It's like
also then we'd have 3 people from Australia and New Zealand on the grid. That would be crazy. That's as many people as from Great Britain. I don't think we've ever had that. Like, and would it be 4? I'm correct in saying 4 from Oceania. I'm not sure where Thailand like sits.
Thailand is not really
Oceania.
Asia.
Yeah.
Oceania is like much more to do with Southwest.
Yeah. That's true. 3 from Oceania. When was the last time that happened in F1? Anyway.
Yeah. All right.
I think I've talked to you.
I mean, yeah, I took the risk, and it's basically like putting the most impressive team as Red Bull because they're gonna finish first no matter what. It's like no.
If someone does that, I'm gonna be. I guess like if they'd have to for me to be okay with having the most impressive team in Red Bull. Like Perez would have to be 40 seconds ahead of everyone else.
Yeah.
It's one of those.
Yeah, imagine if it was like two Perez's and under the Red Bull, right? This season would be much more interesting for for an entire entertainment value because it would be like much closer as well. People would appreciate the Red Bull drives more, I think. Because when you have Max there, like it's such a high benchmark that every time Perez is not within like 10 seconds, everyone's just calling me trash. And I don't think Perez is trash by any means. I think he's a pretty solid driver, but he proved himself in the midfield like a ton of times. Like, yeah, against Ocon, against like Stroll and so like other drivers. Hulkenberg, for example, like Hulkenberg is one of the quickest drivers in the midfield we have right now, and Perez beat him in like 2 out of 3 seasons overall.
His first place, I think, is the big one for me.
Yeah,
that's just the massive.
If Max wouldn't dominate as much, I think Perez would be appreciated more. It's hard to It's hard to be appreciated when your teammate is finishing 40 seconds ahead of you, and Um,
But no points.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I will not put Haas in the least impressive team anymore. I think it's very much the slowest car right now. Like after this weekend, I don't think they'll rematch quicker in Singapore as well. They basically stopped developing the car as well, and not really much to do for the fast drivers. They're just in the back. Sometimes Nico puts in a random good position, but then falls down into the race because no race pace.
Yeah.
Slowest car on the grid. Unfortunate for the drivers. Not really much for the team because they deserve it. They build a trash car and their drivers have to drive it.
Yeah.
All right. For the extra bold prediction, I think none of us get a point right.
No one got it at all.
5+ driver cars didn't happen. Stroll didn't DNF, and there were one stoppers in the race. So all of us don't get a point. Yeah.
Which is why I said extra bold prediction. After all.
Yeah. All right. Counting out the points.
It's a mighty weekend for you, isn't it?
Actually, lost only 1 point compared to me.
Oh, let's go!
Because of basically because of
my back half was pretty solid.
Yeah. It's
like
I lost like so many points in the last 2 questions.
You could argue I got most impressive driver, least impressive driver, most impressive team, least impressive team.
Yeah.
You could definitely there was definitely an argument for Williams being the most impressive team, but
yeah. If Alpine would get actually like around like P12, I could get a point for that, but unfortunately.
Your race and my like section there was huge.
Yep.
Unfortunate for the banana, but now you're saying it's only 1 point, right?
Yeah.
What's the overalls?
You can go to the scoring tab. It's like 5 for free. So you have 19 points. I have 18 and 11 and I have 7.
Damn. Actually
equaled my British GP twice already.
You did.
You're just leading for the Belgium because that was insane. 6
points. Well, it helped that was a double point weekend. When's our next sprint?
Oh, there's sprints. All right, there were 2 more questions. So yeah. I got 2 max points there for full win and for sprint pull and sprint win. So yeah.
When's our next sprint weekend?
I think it's USA or Qatar or like something like that. It's either of those two. I don't know which one is.
Oh, there's a lot more races in the back half of the season. It feels like we're coming to the end.
Yeah, we still have 3 sprint races as well because it's Brazil, Austin, and Las Vegas. Not Las Vegas, Qatar. So
2 Americas as well. Oh god,
like so many actually like exciting races like upcoming, but still like you know who's gonna win. It's like not really. I don't know what to say. I'll let Max win every single race this season just so he hopefully won't win. I'm just praying he doesn't win the most races next season, even though it's probably happening.
I think you go a long 2 years ahead of you unless they start.
Maybe even 3 because like. Yeah, this season, 2024, 2025, until the new Rex. So, yeah, maybe like 2.5 seasons of Max winning every single weekend. Yeah. Maybe next season, Merc build a rocket ship, whatever. I just hope there's some competition because this is so boring. The one fight for the lead we actually got between the 2 different teams this season, it lasted 15 laps. Also, Sainz is the third, is the driver with the third most lead laps season.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's actually crazy.
Thanks to those 15 laps, he's leading more laps than basically all the Merc drivers, all the one Aston driver, because Stroll never led a lap, and yeah, both McLarens and and his teammate. I think his teammate led Baku, right? Like 1 or 2 laps
Yeah.
before Red Bull stormed through. So yeah, all right. I think that's it. We'll probably see each other this weekend, right, for the next stream. We actually,
Tomorrow. Are
um,
you on this 2 streams next 2 days?
wait, is it tomorrow? Is a team announcements for MCC, right?
Yeah, and Friday.
I should be there for Friday.
Uh,
Maybe actually, I don't think I can make Friday either. I have plans for both of the upcoming days.
busy. Oh well. Oh well.
Yeah,
No
I'm
problem.
actually gonna touch grass and have life for once.
Lucky duck.
Uh,
Lucky duck.
Yeah, I guess I was at home for basically like 5 or 6 weeks now. I haven't really left my house at this point. I'm looking for a job right now and still like I haven't really done anything but play Minecraft and do videos this August, so I gotta
I have just played Minecraft, so
yeah, I mean I'll just try to enjoy my time outside for a very long time because I don't remember the last time I actually went out and hang out with friends and so on. All right. I haven't stopped the stream. We're just talking randomly.
oh yeah, we are.
Right.
No problem.
Thanks everyone for watching and everyone who's watching this back as a VOD. And we'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.